the second summer that I managed to survive without protective styling. I would run to protective styles because they would keep my sanity in the heat, humidity, and just activity of the summertime. But I've fallen in love with washing my hair. It relieves stress for me just to have water running through my hair at least twice a week. So I did not want to give that up. Last summer was a lot easier because I was not back in the office yet and everything was still kind of locked down. So it was easy to manage the humidity and, you know, 2 wash days a week. It wasn't a big deal. This summer has been challenging because I am back in the office part-time and I was not on lockdown. I was out and about and, you know, enjoying my summer with water activities, with humidity, and then having to have my hair, you know, in order for work. This video is just going to be about some of the things, tools, techniques, adjustments I made to be able to fit in 3 wash days. So I went from 2 wash days like in the winter and spring to 3 wash days, and just kind of like little tweaks I made to make that work with my routine and my lifestyle. Before I get started though, I want you to let me know in the comments down below how you dealt with the extreme climates of the summertime, whether you came from a very humid summer, or I know some places like Arizona and California deal with like very dry summers. Go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know how you held up this summer with those extreme environments. So this is the first thing. My last appointment with my stylist just happened to be at the beginning of the summer. So I saw my stylist in June. So we got my hair right. You know, she did a deep clean. She did, you know, whatever treatments I needed. She did an Olaplex. I got a video on that down below. And, you know, we talked about stylers, which was important because I got a few things that I ended up using later on in the summer. But we're going to get to that later. So that was the first thing I did that helped me out. So I started the summer off with a trim. You know, just some feedback from my stylist and the general direction I was heading in. So that was the first thing. The next thing I did, which was pick up a mild cleanser. I know the shampoo spectrum thing is still beyond me. I know some shampoos clean more than others. Generally, I would say the ones that I have are like in the middle and clarifying. I didn't really have a mild cleanser. So I picked one up at the beginning of the summer. And that mild cleanser was from the B-Girl line. And I used that when the humidity just got to my hair. So it wasn't that my hair was dirty. It wasn't that I went swimming. My hair just needed a refresh. And I wanted to take off some of the products. I know it was going to be like clarifying, as cleansing as some of the other shampoos I had. So I just needed to take a layer of that product off and get my hair right. I like it. It's velvety. It is hydrating, it is moisturizing, and that's the one I would use when I needed to refresh my hair, even though it wasn't necessarily dirty. The next thing I did wasn't necessarily from a summer standpoint. I just needed to do it because I ran out of the shampoo. The most cleansing shampoo I had before was the Giovanni Tea Tree Direct. So I would use that as a clarifying shampoo, and I happened to run out this summer. So I went out and re-upped on, I picked up the Malibu Sea Undo Goo, and I also picked up the Kinky Curly Come Clean. So that was the third thing I did this summer. That was pick up some more clarifying shampoo. And this was helpful because it's counterintuitive, but my hair, I guess maybe in retrospect, it's not that counterintuitive, but doing my hair 3 times a week actually made my hair build up faster. So reaching for those fast drying anti-humectant gels, I could tell that my hair was, the product was building up faster. So I made sure I had clarifying shampoos on hand. So at first, when I noticed that I needed to clarify my hair more often than washing my hair 3 times a week, it didn't make sense. But then it did, because I'm putting more layers of gel on my hair, and I was using I fell in love with like this very strong anti-humectant gel. So I guess that made sense. Like, those are probably harder to clean off, and just because I'm putting more layers on throughout the week, it built up faster. But when it was happening, I'm like, no, what is going on? My hair tells me that it needs a clarifying treatment if I do the Olaplex and I'm still getting those little, I call them I quit hairs. It's literally like, I don't know, like the size of my fingernail hair that just kind of like breaks off if I look at it wrong. So when my hair is doing that after I Olaplex, then I'm like, okay, it's just not getting any moisture, because my ends are very porous, high porosity. And you would think that means they take up water, but if they're blocked off and they can't get any water, they behave horribly. So I'm like, okay, it's buildup. So that's when I went in with the Undergoo or Come Clean, just depending on. So I was just listening to my hair. I clarified at least twice over the summer, which is more than I normally would. But again, I just feel like layering those anti-humectant gels 3 times a week, most of the time, just led to more buildup, just led to more clarifying a little bit sooner than I normally would. That and chlorine, it was just a lot. It was a lot of environmental factors that made me clarify more often than I need to. I ran out of Giovanni, so I went ahead and picked up the Malibu Sea Undergoo, which is what Dinell uses in the Salon. And I picked up the Come Clean because I like the Kinky Curly, not today, Kinky Curly Custard. So when I'm in the mood, I just go ahead and use all 3 of those. I'll use that entire line in sequence. So that was cleansing. For conditioning, I didn't change much during the conditioning phase. I used the same conditioner I had been using, which most of the time is the Oyen. I do have some of the Trepadora Quinoa Repair Protein. I use that every once in a while. Again, when I start seeing those I quit ends, that's when I might reach for that, or my ends feel like super tangly. That's when I would reach for the Trepadora Quinoa Repair, whatever it is, and I will actually like mix that in with the Oyen. So my conditioning stayed the same. What changed was my detangling. I'm not going in with a detangling brush 3 times a week. I still made sure I went in with that detangling brush at least once a week. But I found that at least 1 time out of the 3 times a week I wash my hair, I could go in with the, I think it's called the shampoo comb. It's helping me get the product through my hair. And that really depended on how well I took care of my hair between wash days. So, you know, did I set it? Did I send it to the dryer? Did I, you know, get it good before with the detangling brush? Then I could get away with the cheating it with the shampoo cone just to get from 1 wash day to the next. So I switched up my detangling just a little bit because I didn't want to go in 3 times a week with a detangling brush, just for my sanity. That is my least favorite part of wash day, is detangling. And I also will pull out that white shampoo comb, like if I'm doing Olaplex, and like if I'm doing the Olaplex treatment, I'm only detangling my hair once. I'm either detangling with the Olaplex in, or I'm detangling with the conditioner in. And the other, whichever one I don't do, I'm using that wide shampoo comb to kind of get product through my hair. Another hack that helped me get through 3 wash days during the summer is I have a pause button on my shower head. I actually didn't buy that just for the summer. It's been there, but I'm not sure if I ever mentioned it. And I did see that some people say, you know, they have water restrictions due to like drought conditions. But my shower head has a pause button, and that's nice because you don't have to turn the water all the way off. So like if I'm detangling and I'm not really using the water, I just press that pause button and the water stops flowing. And it's better than, for me, I like it better than turning it all the way off because I don't have to adjust the temperature. It's still there. I let it run for like 30 seconds and the water is back up to whatever temperature it was. So it kind of like sits in the hose, like it first comes out cold. But once it starts flowing a little bit, it's the exact same temperature that I left at. So that's really nice to have that pause button, especially when I'm washing 3 days a week. It's kind of similar to like turning off the faucet when you know you're brushing your teeth. So just to have that pause and not feel like I'm drowning, because I spent so much time in water. It's just like taking the boys to the pool and swim lessons and all of this and that. I'm just like, I don't need any more water running on me right now. Just give me the water when I need it. So that pause button was nice and helped me get through the summer. Now we're gonna get into styling. This biggest styling challenge of the summer with 3 wash days a week, 2 things. Curly Magic. Okay, so Curly Magic is a very strong humectant. I live in a humid area in the summertime, so it is pulling all that water to my hair, and it feels like it is never dry. Never, ever, ever, ever dry, you know, even after sitting under the dryer for a long time. And when you walk outside with Curly Magic into a humid area, you can feel like the gel, like the Curly Magic underneath all these anti-humectant gels is still sucking in all the moisture from the environment. So I tried a few different things to combat that, and these next few things on the list, all in the styling category, are what kind of helped me get through that. So the first thing I did was try different base gels, you know, alternatives for Curly Magic. So I tried the Mop Top Custard, I had tried the Camille Rose Curl Maker, and by themselves, I didn't really care for them. they almost dried like too fast. So they felt like they didn't pull in enough water. And Curly Magic felt like it put too much water into my hair. So ta-da! I started mixing them together.
Wow.
So I would mix either the Mop Top with Curly Magic, or I would mix the Curl Maker with Curly Magic. And I felt like it was a nice balance to me because I was still able to get some water in my hair while I'm styling it, but it didn't dry too fast like I feel like the custards did. So I would take the Mop Top. The Mop Top is thick. I don't know. They're two different Mop Top gels. I got like the thick one in the jar, custardy. It is thick. But anyway, so the hack here was I would take the Mop Top gel, emulsify that in my hand, and then take like a baby pump or just however much I thought I could handle it, mix them up into my hand at the same time and swipe that on my hair. And that decreased the drying time, and my hair didn't reactivate as much when I went out into humidity. So that was the Mop Top. And I did it the same way with the Curl Maker. The Curl Maker is not that much different than the consistency of Curly Magic. So I'll put the Curl Maker, put the Curly Magic, emulsify, and apply. And overall, I felt like I used less product. I got enough water in my hair to kind of give it the weight I needed to go in with my toppers. So that was nice. So that was one little hack I had, was like cutting Curly Magic or mixing it with different gels and different custards. Those were the main two. I think I had tried it with a leave-in. I didn't like it as much. I liked mixing it with the custards. It got me what I needed, which was a quicker dry time and not as much of that reactivation when you go out into humidity. The next one that I actually got this from my salon. So at my salon visit, Dianelle had actually switched up my product combination a little bit. So she had used Curly Magic, then she went in with I Create Volume, which is a serum and not a gel, and then she went in with Bamboo Ginseng Glaze. And this is funny how this came about. So I was using those and I liked it because it does dry faster. It's like the I Create Volume added a little bit of control, and then but without adding extra drying time. So it was like so it was a base gel and 2 toppers, but that I Create Volume didn't add much to the drying time, which I liked, but it did help, I feel like, get my curls in order. So I liked that combination. And then like halfway through the summer, less than halfway through the summer, I would say after a few uses, the cap on that I Create Volume got so sticky, like I couldn't squeeze any of the product out. So I was like, bump this. And I was looking at what I had in my stash, and I had the Trelux High Reflex Serum, and that ended up becoming my favorite. I started to prefer that over the I Create Volume. So I ended up replacing the like flip cap on the I Create Volume with a pump. But that I Create Volume is like really liquidy, so it just like moves all over my hand. So I put that to the side for a little bit, and I had started using the Trelux High Reflex Serum, which is nice because it's another one. It's a serum, but when you put it on your hair, it kind of foams up like a styling foam or mousse. And I had started to really like using that because, again, it doesn't add much to the drying time, but it does add a little bit of control. So it does help my curls come together without adding to the drying time. And I had started using that. So I would use Curly Magic, the High Reflex Serum, and Bamboo Ginseng Glaze most of the time. This became my all-time, this next one I'm going to talk about became my all-time favorite gel of the summer. It is a strong anti-humectant gel. I mean, I would throw that on my hair and got in the pool, and if nobody like splashed me or I didn't go underneath the water, like my hair was fine. And that's B-Girl. That B-Girl custard is a strong anti-humectant, and it dries fast. One of my favorite combos of the summer became, and I put that B-Girl to the test. I did that B-Girl alone. I did that B-Girl with a leave-in. I did the B-Girl with like Curly Magic. I did the B-Girl with Curly Magic High Reflex, and then put that B-Girl on as the top. That B-Girl custard is a very strong anti-humectant. I used that when I needed my hair to last, when I knew I would absolutely have no time to do it. If I put that on my hair and I got that dried with whatever I threw at it, it would hold up. Like, that is a strong anti-humectant. So that's why I'm not sure if I'm going to carry that into the wintertime because the air is drier. I'm not sure that I need that strong of an anti-humectant, but it was really nice tool in my arsenal during the summertime. But yeah, and that's the one that I would use Like if I only had time to rinse my hair to reset it, or if I used that mild conditioner, it played nice with almost everything else I use. So like if I did something to my hair and I only had time to like rinse product out of my hair, I could put like Curly Magic and put B-Girl on. And I knew like I still had residue from other products and B-Girl would handle it. Like that was my ratchet best friend for the summer. I used that to throw my hair into like 2 flat twists. I had used that to throw my hair into like kind of a slick back side pony. Like B-Girl is strong, anti-humectant. It's got weight, it's got control. I really liked B-Girl. I would grab her in the clutch, and that really helped me get through the summer. That was like the one product I was like surprised how strong it is. It is the only time I've ever used like a one product wash and go and had it dry and hold up in the summertime. You know, but too much of a good thing isn't a better thing. So I'm gonna, you know, B-Girl might not make it to the fall. Like I might put her in my back pocket. Like again, like I said, when I needed that long lasting stronghold, like B was that girl. When I wasn't wearing wash and goes, what I would do to kind of style my hair was to throw in some flat twists. And I tried like setting it with from, you know, wet with the mousse. That wasn't my favorite. I feel like I was using a whole lot of mousse. So what I started doing was I would put leave-in in my hair and just put like 4 braids in my hair and then style from there in the morning. And sometimes I would style with a braid gel. Sometimes I would style with a cream. Sometimes I would style with a mousse. But it was easier for me to work with my hair that was like stretched and dried, or at least damp, at least stretched out a little bit. And I think that has to do a lot with like the length of my hair and I just felt like I was working hard against the styling foam or the mousses or whatever to get my hair into those braids, and came easier to me if I, you know, stretched it overnight and then went ahead and did that.